Cartoons are usually safe for kids. They're colorful, exciting, and some are a little bit spooky. And that goes for Batman cartoons or superhero cartoons in general, because this will end up being a series, I believe. This is something that really piqued my interest, and the more I dive into these specific cartoons, the more examples I find. So you could think of this as like a darkest cartoon slash child show episode list or whatever. Today I'm going to be talking about Return of the Joker from Batman Beyond. Return of the Joker is, well, in its uncut form, it goes places no Batman story has ever gone, including, it includes things like torture, brainwashing, and one of the most horrifying Joker arcs ever, and for me, one that actually made me scared of the Joker for the first time, especially to this degree. This is the darkest Batman cartoon ever made, in my personal opinion. Now, set in Batman Beyond, as I mentioned, Terry McGinnis faces Joker's return in a future Gotham. And if you don't know, Terry McGinnis is the predecessor to Batman. Batman Beyond is a show I have not covered on this channel in its entirety, but it is one that I absolutely love, holds a really, really special place in my heart. And if you guys have seen it, you know it's so unique and yet iconic, and it definitely works well in animation, especially. Terry McGinnis is one of the rare examples of a kind of a predecessor that takes over the role, and I actually enjoy it. It's not like, for me, maybe it's because he's still so new, but Miles Morales, for example, I don't enjoy seeing him as much or even more as Peter Parker. Same goes for some of the Robins even. But for some reason, Terry McGinnis seems like, I don't know, just a great predecessor to Batman. And the Batman and the Joker in this universe are from the Batman the Animated Show. And so this is kind of a sort of continuation, you can think of it, because this episode contains some flashbacks and callbacks to characters from that. So that'll be important. But speaking of flashbacks, the flashbacks reveal that Joker kidnapped and tortured Tim Drake, turning him into a miniature Joker. Now, if you know about Batman lore, I'm trying to think about when it was. If I could find a screen grab, I'll post it here. But I think back in the 80s or so, comic creators had fans vote on if Robin should live or die. And basically that was like the butterfly effect of all butterfly effects for comic books and for Batman in general. Because if you guys don't know, that spawned the whole Death in the Family arc, Jason Todd / Red Hood. And that is a very controversial character in and of itself. Both versions of the character. People either really love the Red Hood or they really, really hate him. And people love Jason Todd or they really dislike him. So it's interesting to see kind of a different take on such an iconic storyline. And if you guys don't know, these Batman cartoons, especially the earlier ones like Batman Beyond, the animated series, the New Adventures, they all did stuff that was, they would introduce completely new characters that are now integral to the character of Batman himself, or they would introduce certain storylines that fans are dying to see in live action. And for me, this is honestly one of them. Although it would take quite a while to get there, this is something that I think would work very well in live action. But given that it is a cartoon, it is unbelievably disturbing, because I don't think you guys quite understand. If you haven't seen the episode, you can't really understand just how bad it is. Robin is brainwashed and forced to betray Batman and psychologically scarred. The episode is just heartbreaking because the abuse that this Robin has suffered, in my opinion, is debatably worse than the abuse that Jason Todd suffers in the Death of the Family storyline that I was talking about. Present day confrontation combines, action and emotional weight as Batman faces the consequences of Joker's cruelty and the realization of what happened to one of his Robins. And I mean, I don't really know how to get into it, so I'll just kind of get into the analysis section. I kind of have it broken down here so I can keep myself somewhat on track. Psychological horror and moral consequences drive this story's darkness first and foremost, because as I mentioned, Jason is tortured. He is psychologically manipulated and beaten down to become this miniature version of the Joker, this sadistic, twisted version of the Joker that we all know. And the uncut version even amplifies this trauma much more, and the stakes for that matter, showing Joker as this destroyer of innocence, for lack of a better term. I mean, he the stuff that he puts him through, him and Harley, the flashbacks are just, I don't know, it's horrible. It's kind of the same thing with that Death in the Family storyline. There's something so heartbreaking about a Robin looking up to Batman so much and putting all of their faith in him, only to have Batman fail them. And obviously not, completely on Batman's, it's not Batman's choice to fail them, but nonetheless, he does fail them. And to see them kind of break down like this, it kind of got to me, especially watching this as an adult. I see a lot of, I don't know, maybe I'm picking up on stuff too much, but stuff like this kind of affects me, which is why I'm probably picking up on it. But I saw a lot of parallels to, physical abuse of, like, children, and just abuse in general of children, and how isolating and scary that can be. Because if you haven't gone through something like that, or you don't know anything about stuff like that, it can be, traumatizing to say the least, but so isolating and hopeless feeling, because you are, the whole point of it, of the abuser, the whole point of Joker in this episode is to make him feel like he's alone, like no one's coming to save him. And that is truly horrifying. Now, moving on, I want to talk about the impact and legacy, because I kind of touched on it, but this episode was initially censored, and the uncut version, is now celebrated as a mature and groundbreaking story in animation. And it's funny how this stuff works, how, stuff will air back in the day, and studios or companies will err on the side of caution, only to release the true version years later and have fans be that much more enamored with it. And not that seeing these kind of things is even more entertaining, but it's just more real. And I think that's what fans kind of grasp onto. I know that's what I do for this one, because this one is truly hard for me to watch. I'm not just saying that because I'm making a YouTube video about it. I mean, it's genuinely hard to watch, and maybe it's because of those reasons I listed, the connections I drew to real world scenarios like this. But either way, Return of the Joker proves that even in animation, Batman can confront darkness most live action films wouldn't dare, and honestly have not dared, to tackle. Joker strikes at people's hearts, leaving lasting scars, for me at least. And there's really no easy victories in this masterpiece of an episode, of a story. And that's kind of what that's all I really want to talk about today. I just wanted to see, who out there has also seen this, if you guys feel the same way. If you do, let me know. Let me know how this has, left an impact on you, if it has, or how it's affected you. Do you think there is a darker Batman cartoon episode? And if so, which one? Because I may be covering it. I'm not going to lie, guys. I have a few loaded up right here to record. So I'm pretty excited to get this going. If you guys do like this kind of series, I'll continue to do it. If you want to see different shows, let me know also. I know there's some pretty dark stuff in Spider-Man and even stuff outside of superheroes. I know there's some pretty dark places cartoons can go to. So, yeah, just let me know what you thought down below. If you did stick around this long, I really do appreciate it. Your time is very, very valuable to me, and I hope I make it worth your while. So, until next time, guys, I will see you in the next video.